Where you from? Utah and Lexington. Yo, where you from? Parkside and Ellison, Liberty and Garrison, Montford and Jefferson. South side is where I'm born at. West side and east side, always going at it. We be more down to the bone. You gotta catch a show down at the Hippodrome. Discount City where we used to get our phone. Take a photo on Clay Street before you go.
What up, everybody? This is the Elevation Podcast here on www.ShawnRiff-Raff.com. I got my man here. What we're doing right now is we're getting into this, just trying to understand where someone's from, trying to understand how to elevate people to the next level, trying to understand another person's experiences, just trying to get a glimpse of what other people what other people bring to the kingdom, what they bring to ministry, all of that stuff. And right now, I've got my man in the studio. We have known each other for several years now, and man, it's been what? I don't know, 5 years
since reaching me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
been 5 years since we worked together. But you know, my man right here in the studio. I want everybody to give it up for my homeboy Russ Shanks.
What up? What up? What up? Shanks is in the building.
Shanks is in the building.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited over the claps. So, man, I'm excited about this because I haven't really done a lot of, you know, me and you have done a lot of like agreement on social issues, and you know. So that's I'm excited to possibly get into that today, and just excited to have you here, man.
I'm glad to
thanks
be
for
here.
coming all the way down, PG from Baltimore.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
And you know, I appreciate that because you know it's a hump to get out here. It's just something I'm starting, something I'm just excited about doing. A vision God gave me for going to the next level where He's elevating me to. And just, through all the trials and situations of life, God brings you to a place. He brings you to a place where it's like it's you and Him, and He says, "This is what I want you to do. Now it's go time." Right. And this is go time for me. And I'm like, well, a couple things to go time for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm excited about that. But before we get into all the cool social and things about America and social and what God can do for the country and all that cool stuff. Yeah. Tell me, and for people that may not know who you are, however crazy they may be, tell me about Russ Shanks. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what brings you to just the place that you're at today.
Well, born and raised in South Baltimore, Cherry Hill, Westport. What up, y'all? Typically in Baltimore, everybody either claims the west side or the east side. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Right. Like those are the premier sides of Baltimore. Right. So, but I'm proud, like super proud to be from, have my roots in South Baltimore, Cherry Hill. I went to school out there, I lived out there. So my family, my dad actually still lives in Westport, like to this day. So, I'm so very proud to be from that part of the city. Right. I got stomping grounds in both East and West, but, South is what I rep, what I represent. Right. Cherry Hill especially. But, yeah, man. But, I haven't always been doing music, but music was always around. My mother, God rest her soul, she was a singer, choir member. My dad he still is, he plays the keyboard. So it's like my uncle used to play the sax. So I was always surrounded by music. Right. And I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be in like a Boys and Men type group. Okay. You feel what I'm saying? Because I really did, man. I wanted to be dressed down in the linen on the desert with the wind blowing and all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But God had a different path for me, So, but I got into hip hop like from, the message, that don't push me. Man, me and my cousin knew that verbatim, like, we were kids, man. So it's like, from there, I fell in love with hip hop, the Fat Boys, you know, even Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, Jazzy Jeff, all of them. Like I was into that really heavy, but I didn't see myself actually being a rapper.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, as I got older, you know, got into other stuff that, you know, that probably wasn't the best things to get into, like in the streets and everything. But fast forward to when I'm about 15 years old, you know, I got on the church van came through my neighborhood while I was out hanging with my friends, pick up my neighbors, and I saw a girl in the van that was cute.
Right.
So I hopped on the van, not knowing where it was going.
Right.
Just, you know, I hopped on the van, you know, to try to talk to her, to get to know her better or whatever. And it took me to a little small storefront church,
Right.
corner of Baltimore and Mount Street, which is what at the time was Mount Nebo Holy Church.
Okay.
They had a youth outreach there. And, you know, man, I was like, when I got there, I was amazed to see so many young people like believing in God. And it was like, I'm like, oh man, what I just step in? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a little bewildered at first, but then I went back and I kept going back.
Mm-hmm.
And then until God just literally changed my life, man. Like he literally, you know, saved my life.
Yeah.
You know, so fast forward again, like I'm part of the choir, I'm singing, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm closer to my dream of being part of a singing group.
Right.
But it's a choir, like it's like 50 of us.
Yeah.
But like I'm closer, like
Right.
you know, I'm learning more about music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With the choir, and then fast forward again, we enter a competition. The Quaker Voices of Tomorrow, kind of like that Sister Act 2 type vibe, you know.
Uh-huh.
And Bruce Parham, shout out to him, Pastor Bruce Parham came through and taught us a song called Caribbean Praise. And from there, he said, when we were rehearsing, he said, I need a rap on this prelude part, like this little break. I need somebody to rap. I wrote a rap, but without the intention of rapping the rap. You get it? So I thought somebody else would do it. So I just went home, wrote something, came back, something real, you know, real easy, real, you know, preschool, brought it back. They was like, nah, you do it. So I got up there and I did it. And then from there, it's like, we won the competition, by the way. But from there, it's like, my friends was like, bro, put a rap on this song. Every time they wrote a song, put a rap on this song.
Right.
So I just started writing and rapping, and I got adjusted to it. And the Lord told me through another individual that God is calling me to do this.
Oh, wow.
So it was crazy. So I transitioned from wanting to be a singer, which I still do sing, but not professionally. But you
First of all, let me stop you there.
okay.
All these hooks that we needed back in the Reach Movie days, I needed no vocals for Russ.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like I sound different. When I sing, I sound different on record. So it doesn't come out the way it is in my brain. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, like
I guess.
I can carry a tune, but I'm better at harmony. Like if you need harmony, then I got you.
I feel you.
But yeah, so I, you know, God just opened mad doors. Like, you know, my name was originally Metaphor when I first started, but you know, as I started to move up,
That's understandable.
huh?
I heard you, man.
Right, and
That's kind of understandable. That's kind of understandable name for you, Metaphor.
right, and that's why I called myself that, because I wanted that to be my style.
Right.
But then I started seeing the name, and I spelled it META-4. So
Okay.
I started seeing it on flyers everywhere, and I'm like, they never called me to be on this program or be part of this. And it was like, I Googled it, and it's like 17 artists in the DMV named Metaphor.
Listen, it could have just been one artist
Right.
that was a crazy white boy from Texas that got on MTV, and his happened to have the same name you already had for 10 years.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Oh my gosh.
So, so while I'm at work one day, like I'm just trying to figure out what to do. So I was like, because I remember you telling me one day, like the way that you stand up, you have to do something different. You have to be the first. You have to, you got to hit first, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, okay, as Metaphor, I'm just going to hit first. I'm going to hit the hardest. But then one of my employees at work said, you look like your name should be Russell Shanks. So she just started calling me that at work. Like that instead of calling me by my government, that's what she called me. And I'm like, wait a minute.
So she just arbitrarily decided to call you Russ.
Out of the blue. And I was like, man, you're giving me a porn. That's like a porn star name, first of all. And like, I was said, you know, Boats and Hoes featuring Russ Shanks, Russell Shanks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking like that's crazy. But then I'm in the studio one day and
Right.
I'm the engineer. I told him, hold on. I said, I want to try something. So as we recording, I yell out Shanks, and he echoed it.
Right.
And he paused. He said, "Yo, what was that?" I said, "I think that's my new name." So it was like from then on out, I was Russ Shanks. You know what I'm saying?
I never heard that story before.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. A lot of moments of transition, man.
Wow.
You know, to get where God wanted me to be.
So tell me about your journey in music. Tell me about your journey in Christian hip hop in particular. You kind of run Baltimore when it comes to Christian hip hop. Like you can't mention hip hop in Baltimore without saying the name Russ Shanks.
I bless God for that. Man, just I'm assuming just by being authentic and consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know that I had the understanding that I can't do this by myself. Like, if I move, then I have to, you know, bring those that are in my circle with me, and vice versa. Like you when I was with Reach, you propelled me. You get it? So because you knew what to do, you pushed me to a different level and got me and shared knowledge with me to help me elevate even further. Same thing with 3HP. Same thing with Rock the Truth and other places that I've been a part of. And it's like I've taken everything that you guys have put in me, and I'm now dishing it out to the next generation that's coming up. You know what I'm saying? So to the point where I was able to begin my own label, the Mass Saint Entertainment, which I've always had, but I kind of like had it low key, right? And you know, but now it's like, you know, I'm full fledged in it now, and you know, I signed my first artist. Shout out to Go Ye. You know, he's my first artist, and he's working on this project right now, and God's just making moves, man. So, you know, as far as my stamp in the DMV is. Like, I got the Mad Saint Cyphers. I'm about to record Volume 4. It's going to be on the 23rd of this month. So it's like, you know, and it's my way of building a relationship with these other artists, right? And letting them know that though I might be at a certain place, my spirit is still with all of you, with everyone else. You know what I'm saying? It's like you know, I know that's the thing, that's the struggle that we deal with, I think, as artists. Absolutely. Is that everybody's afraid that somebody's going to bubble before them. Right. You know what I'm saying? And take all the opportunities. And it's like, that's not my mindset. So I don't care where the one artist is. It's like, okay, I know where I am, so I'm going to make sure that I maintain where I am.
And as much as I try to explain that to artists, it doesn't have to, you don't have to think like that, because that's not how it is. Right. You know, it's not. There is no such thing as one artist controlling everything. Right. You know, if we're doing, let's say we all got a youth event. You know, we're doing a youth event, but it's a youth event every Friday in every church. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you know, I can't be at 14 places at the same time, which means that there needs to be 14 different people. Right. If you're gonna create something that is, absolutely, it has to be an entire thing. Right. You know what I mean? Like that mentality that we have to compete. Whereas it's fun to compete in hip hop as we compete in lyrically. Right. But I'm talking about as we have to compete from a mindset of crabs in a barrel mindset. Right. It's ridiculous. Crabs don't belong in a barrel. They belong in the sea. And the sea is big. You know what I mean? Right. So anyway, you know, you are just a Baltimore to the heart person. Mm-hmm. With the exception of like the Ravens, you are.
I don't like the Ravens.
That's what I'm saying. Oh. But with the exception of like the Ravens.
Respect to the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? Salute to them. But I'm not a Ravens fan. So just so y'all know, I was always a football fan since 1981. But my team is the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, y'all beat us by 3 points. Yeah, it was a win. I'm glad for y'all, you know. But, you know, hopefully we see y'all again in the Super Bowl. Or not if y'all get put out before we do. We'll see. But anyway, back to what you were saying.
Other than that, minor thing.
Shortcoming.
You pretty much Baltimore to the core.
Yes, sir.
We've done a lot of things, whereas I felt like me and Russ had a lot in common when it came to Well, first of all, when I listen to your music, right, although it's gospel because it talks about the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and that was, just the premise of how we make change in the world. The very foundation of it, the very premise of it has to be the Lord.
Right.
We have to be led in the direction that He leads us in order to make the change that He wants to make in the world. Where I notice that about you is that fundamentally is the way you go.
Mm-hmm.
And in that leading that you take from the Lord, there is a lot of you have a lot of social issues that pop off. Tell me about the way you feel when it comes to that. Tell me about just the way you feel when it comes to social issues, especially as it lays out in Baltimore.
Okay, well, first of all, as an African American man or black man or whatever you want to call us, I'm of dark skinned descent. I understand what our place is in this country.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Oh, the place that they want us to be in this country.
Right.
And I understand that the game that we play, this game, is rigged. It's rigged against us. And I don't care what race you are, you have to understand that. Like, to all my Caucasian friends, you have to understand that the game is rigged against us and for you. That's why there's no such thing as black privilege. So, but because I have sons, I have a family, I have to prepare them for when they grow up and for, to deal with the things that I'm dealing with and so many people like us are dealing with. So, but I also have a responsibility to put that out to other people and other families in my music. Like, it's irresponsible as far as I'm concerned to keep talking about God, but not deal with the grassroots things that affect our community. Like, because the thing is, about some of these churches, not many that I know, but some out there, they have the four-wall mentality where if it doesn't happen within the church, they don't deal with it. But it's a lot of people that need the church to step out and do community stuff.
Right, absolutely.
Like, salute to the men that are marching through. I was with them a few weeks ago. We was marching through walking, I ain't gonna say marching, but walking through the Park Heights area, just handing out resources. So I mean, it wasn't like they were they weren't protesting or anything like that, but they would just walk through the city just in numbers, passing out resources. Like, churches and other community facilities can do things like that.
Right.
So, and at my part in it, because I can't always walk, I can't always be a part of one particular group of people, is that I put it in my music. That way they have a theme song.
Right.
So and that's real heavy, man. We watch what's going on with your boy George Zimmerman, and, and like.
Hold on, we don't get to that.
Okay. I'll slow down. But it's.
I was going to piggyback on what you said, but I was going to piggyback on what you said about churches, and one of the wonderful things about churches understanding that the gimmicks aren't winning like they used to.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The tap dance and the backflips and the song and dance and the gimmicks and the pizza parties and the clowns and whatever the case is don't work like they used to work, because we it's a different beast in the youngins these days. It's a different beast, and that doesn't, don't bring them in. It's like, no, you can't bring them in like that. You have to go out and get them. Right. And with that mentality, right, that evangelistic mentality, that is how, we're gonna have to get them and grab them and bring them. Now we're gonna have to, do some fun, gimmicky sort of thing. Right.
And hope that they come.
Right. No, we don't have to get on the street. One of the things about Baltimore, which was interesting, is that when, during the riot, now you were really involved then. We did a lot of cleaning, marching, cleaning, whatever. Just I think me, you, Fish, a lot of people were really involved. A lot of people that were part of the movement were really involved in that. And one of the things is what we don't understand is when they shut the schools down in Baltimore. When they shut the schools down for a week, you don't understand that. I think it's like 72% of the kids that go to the Baltimore City, schools on a free lunch program.
Right.
If you're on a free lunch program,
you don't eat.
there's a very good possibility that a lot of those kids won't eat
Absolutely.
because they close the schools down.
Right.
And it's like, you know, there are certain things that you gotta, you know, like when we're talking about what we do in the community, it's like what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
what are we doing in the community? You know what I'm saying? With you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we gotta go. And
So,
we gotta, you know.
let me, because I was at ground zero
Right.
when the civil unrest began
Okay.
over in Mondawmin,
Okay.
right? Because you know, my job is to be involved when stuff come in, like issues are called into the city. So I knew what was going to happen. They shut down MTA, and these kids were coming out of Douglas High School
Right.
with no way to get home because the buses had stopped. They stopped the buses from running.
Right.
So the officers are called to the location because there's a crowd of kids, and the officers are saying, y'all need to go. Where are they going? They have no way home.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, so you're telling kids to leave, but they have no way to leave. They have nowhere to go. They don't live in the area. So it's kind of like they're feeling antagonized. And it's like they're feeling like you're agitating the situation. So they get angry. They just wanted to get home.
Wow.
You get it?
Yeah.
You know, they just wanted to go home. They were out of school early, and they just wanted to go home.
Wow.
So, and then from there, it was just a domino effect. You know, once that happened, of course, you know, over East, they heard it, and then they said, oh, we doing it too, and then blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because now we got to get ignorant of everybody else.
Right. And
We're
it's
already talking about, if we're talking about 72% of people on a free lunch program, people may not eat. We're talking about the type of unrest. Because don't nothing speak louder than your hunger,
absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Don't nothing speak louder than your hunger.
Right.
And you're talking about the type of unrest, the type of frustrated unrest that's just going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. So I can't even segue into because I wanted, you know, last week we saw something really strange.
Mm-hmm.
But what I saw is it brought out a level of anger and frustration that puts you back
Mm-hmm.
into that era
Mm-hmm.
of anger and frustration. We talked about George Zimmerman as he goes back, opens up a wound.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't understand, it's not just a wound with the family of Trayvon Martin. It's a wound in the culture.
And the culture.
And so he opens up a wound, right? And then sues the family of Trayvon Martin
For $100 million.
for $100 million.
And
I mean, I don't, it doesn't matter if they sued him for $100. Like,
right.
To me, it doesn't matter.
Because then the reasons why he was suing, because he said they had false witnesses. Okay, what if they did? You got off, bro. Like, you didn't go to jail.
What difference?
I get it. If you served time and they had witnesses that lied on you and you went to jail, then yeah. But nah, you got off. They lost their son. They lost the case. You're free.
Right.
And then you're going around here selling the weapon for 250 G's. You sold the weapon that killed Trayvon Martin. And you're going around signing t-shirts, Skittle t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? And Confederate flags. Yeah, they got video and pictures of this dude doing signings. You know what I'm saying? For those who support that kind of nonsense of him killing a 15-year-old boy who he approached, and you know, but he got the benefit of the stand your ground law, which I think is weird. Like,
Right.
Trayvon Martin is over here. You get out of your car, walk towards him, but you get the benefit of stand your ground.
Right.
So I just don't get that.
A lot of people say that the story wasn't told right. And that's not exactly what happened. You know, one friend of mine says that, you know, Trayvon was a big guy and George Zimmerman was a little dude. And and Trayvon was attacking him, he beat him up, and that's why he got shot.
I have no doubt that Trayvon was whipping him. I have no doubt that Trayvon, but I don't think that Trayvon started, was the aggressor.
First of all, Trayvon's 5'11" and 141 pounds. I was 6'0" and 145 pounds when I was about his age.
Mm-hmm.
That's not big.
Right, it's not big at all.
Skinny and tall.
And lanky. Yeah.
Lanky, that's skinny.
Yeah.
And, tallish. So anyway, a lot of people would say that, oh, he was a big dude that was, beat up and blah, 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 blah. But the point I think that we miss is that, like you said, the trial over.
Right, it's over.
You won.
You won.
And if they brought up a witness, whatever, it didn't work.
Didn't work.
You won. And it's like I have no empathy at all to the damage this not only did to the family of Trayvon Martin, which is bad enough,
Right.
but to the damage it did across the culture and across the country.
Yeah.
And what it really started.
Yep.
And what it
really started. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Because Trayvon was literally, like, since Rodney King and Diallo and all of those other ones, he was like the one of our generation. He was that one of the millennium the new millennium that started opened the floodgates.
Right.
Michael Brown and all the others that unfortunately lost their lives to some kind of gun violence over something stupid. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you come. That's like, okay, Michael Brown's killer.
Right.
Like, if he came back and was like, well, I want to sue Michael Brown's family. Like, it's just crazy to me for you to, because was OJ able to sue?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, to be perfectly fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was an OJ move.
No, I get it, but OJ wasn't, when OJ got off, OJ didn't go back and sue the family.
But he still.
They actually sued him.
Right. No, I'm saying he still it took him years, but he still generally profited off of the whole situation.
Right.
He wrote a book
Yeah.
if I did it, this is how I would, but I ain't doing it.
Right. And he still ended up in jail.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So OJ, I think that's, but on the same, I think OJ is wrong too.
Absolutely.
I think OJ is an opportunist. I think that,
Absolutely.
I think that George Zimmerman is literally an opportunist.
Absolutely. I think he's mentally disturbed. I really do. I think he's mentally ill because, everybody that was in his corner has kind of separated themselves from except his lawyer.
Right.
His fiance at the time, they broke up, they had whatever. Then she claimed he was abusive. I said, his brother kind of separated himself, and now, so he's out there on his own now. And just trying to stay in the media. And it's like, bro, just go live in the woods somewhere, off the grid. Cause I mean, seriously, if I was him, thank God I'm not, but if I was him and I knew that I got away with taking that boy's life, I would not feel safe anywhere. Anywhere.
Yeah.
I would go live off the grid, hunt for my food, all that. You wouldn't see my name anywhere. But he's just thirsty for attention. So it's like, I fear that he's going to either end up in a situation where he's going to take another life, or he's going to get his life taken. Because he's that thirsty. He's that starved.
Right.
So, I mean, I really wish that the district attorney at the time had the cojones to really go off after him, but she didn't.
Right.
She didn't.
But he was going after the police department at that point.
Yeah.
At that time anyway. Yeah, enough about him.
Yeah, enough about it. I'm giving him enough fame, man.
What is it? You're a visionary.
That's right.
And there has to be a vision of what you see, Baltimore or your area, neighborhood, or the city in general, where it could be. And how is it? If I was the mayor of Baltimore, right? I just met him about a month ago. I live in New York, and I can't remember his name.
Young.
Yes.
Jack Young. Mayor Jack Young.
The event that we were doing at whatever park it is. What do we do sound alarm at?
Sound alarm. I don't know.
That park.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah. Okay, I can't remember. It's over east though.
I don't know. Was it Patterson Park?
Might have.
Okay.
But if I was the mayor of Baltimore, and it's like, hey, I want to make some change in the city. Being as Baltimore is either the number one or number two most violent place in the country. It's either Baltimore or St. Louis. One or the other one. Y'all fight every year for the top, for the top spot.
It's crazy.
What is it that what could you say? What would you say to me as the mayor of Baltimore? As you know, what change would you like to see in the city?
I mean, I would like to see less investment in gentrification and changing the areas and moving low-income families out, and more investment in, first of all, the school system, because the school system, that situation is real crazy.
Right.
Because we don't know where the money's going.
Right.
They, according to the governor, he's giving money, but the schools they don't have any heat or air conditioning. Right. And it's like, if we build up the educational system to the point where kids actually enjoy going to school like they used to, where, you have field trips, where you have a lot of sports activities and things that the kids can take pride in, then I think that will keep them off the streets. If you make it like where, okay, just like now, you can't play sports unless your grades are at a certain level. It's like, but does anybody care about that? Because now they're starting to snatch away funding for sports. So a lot of these sports teams are being taken away.
And how do you not know, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you not know where the money goes?
They know.
Like, how do you get to say, well, we gave you the money. I don't know why the air broke. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
how do you not know? Like, how is it? I wonder, how is it possible, right, to have a school where the air or the heat doesn't work? Like, how is that possible? How is that even a thing?
Your question is rhetorical, right? It has to be, because I definitely don't have the answer to that. But what I do know though is that I have, by working under Jack Young, Mayor Jack Young, he's different, right. And he's different than our previous mayors. He's really connected in the street. You get what I'm saying? Okay. And he doesn't pull any punches when he speaks. Yeah. So if it's something that's on his mind, he's going to say it. Okay. So I think that if he remains the mayor, if he's reelected as mayor, because he wasn't really elected at this,
right.
The spot was vacated and he was next up. So
happens quite a bit in Baltimore.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
I think it's happened twice in the last 10 years.
Yeah. But I think that he can really do some. He can make some changes. You know what I'm saying? With the right people behind him and stuff like that. So because him being a city council president for so long, everybody knows him. So he's not like some Jim or Jane that's coming off the street like our last mayor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even though she was around, but we understand his political affiliation. We understand his experience. So I think that he has the know-how to really affect change in the city. Right. But because we go back to that crab in the barrel mentality, it's like, if I want that spot, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to get it. Right. So I'm gonna dig up some dirt on you. Right. And I think that's what was going on in the previous administrations. It was like Sheila Dixon, I think somebody snitched on her. Right. Let's keep it real. I believe somebody snitched on her. The Rawlins Blake, somebody was about to snitch on her, so she was like, I don't want to run anymore. you know, Pew, you know somebody dropped down on her.
I think she was overwhelmed on the job.
Maybe.
Maybe. Like she got to be married at maybe the worst possible time.
Absolutely. Well, but you right, but you
possibly the worst possible time. I've been like, man, you know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna roll out. I'm going on vacation.
Yeah.
I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah, but I mean, she did have 2 terms, so I mean, but but you could say the same thing about Mayor Young. You know, he came in at the worst possible time because, we had the ransomware attack, we had all of that like going on. We got the murder rate that's steady climbing, and it's like, so he is now the man that has the responsibility of fixing it. And everybody that's in like the police, from the police commissioner all the way down to, whatever, he inherited that.
Right.
So now he has to, make decisions. So I hope, and I believe that he can, and I'm not campaigning for Mayor Young, but I'm just saying, as a person that has like his foot or both feet in the city, literally, he's not coming from the county. He's not, he's in the city. He's a city guy.
Right.
And, like you think of, not making a comparison, but you think about DC's mayor, Marion Barry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had his issues.
Yes.
But he was one of the best mayors DC has ever seen.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we need somebody. I feel like Jack Young is real. Like, he's not putting on a show. With cameras in his face, he's going to be who he is. He'll maybe even throw out an F-bomb every now and again. Like,
Oh, that's great.
Well, I mean, our president does the same thing.
That doesn't make what you're saying any better.
I'm just saying he's real. If he's angry, he's going to tell you he's angry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So instead of, being politically correct, if there's an issue, he's going to attack it head on, I think.
Yeah. So as we wind down, let me ask you. I want to flip back to ministry.
Okay.
For a second. Now that we've solved all the problems with Baltimore. What are some things that we can do to help to bring especially the young people, but I think as you get older, your definition of young people changes.
Oh, absolutely.
We're in a moment in history where we see people turning away from not only the church, because we've been seeing that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing that for the majority of my life.
Mm-hmm.
People trying to turn away from church and the systemic way that church works, right?
Yeah. And
we've been seeing, more recently, people completely change from the idea of God. And interestingly enough, as people are changing from the idea of God, you start seeing a bunch of wild things happening because people, it might, it's just from my sight, because we're changing from the idea or the understanding or the reverence of God. And if we change from the reverence of God, the only thing we have to revere as supreme is ourselves.
Absolutely.
So we change from understanding that there is someone, who has it all in his hand to I have it all in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
In which case we change from reverencing God to being selfish. And as the selfishness grows, as selfishness expands, you see really, really selfish behavior. Like everything is about how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And like people don't understand how you feel is a level beneath understanding the might of the Lord.
Right.
So how can we, as someone who's really on a more evangelist tip, more ear to the streets, how can we change the trend that is trending young people away from the Lord?
Well, first, I think we have to rebuild the respectable Godhead. Because, we've had a lot of pastors fall, and we have a lot of churches where the leadership is questionable. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what causes people to separate, because when you look at some of these people look at their pastors as God, or you know, the step down from God or whatever. So it's like they find that salvation in that individual. When that individual falls, then it's like they have no hope. They say this whole situation is a sham. That all they do is ask for money, blah blah blah. They make all these excuses. So we have to rebuild the Godhead, the priesthood. We have, as fathers and leaders in our community, we have to earn the respect. And it's not about beating them in the head with the Bible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's about just being who we are and not being ashamed, and just, you know, instead of like we said earlier in the show, don't have them make them come to you. Show up for them.
Oh, I think the come to you gimmick is kind of, for lack of better terms, played.
It's played out, right?
We know that card. We don't feel.
But some people still do it though. They still do it.
Yeah, exactly. And to what you said, you know, there is a lot that we got to do just to get more respect. You know what you said when you said about we don't have to beat them over the head with the Bible. Interestingly enough, in my opinion, if we know the Bible, we know it's not to be used to beat anyone.
Absolutely.
And if you understand the Bible, you understand the complexity of it and how big it is. And we got this one book, right? We got this one book to understand that God had created the heavens, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the proton, molecule, atom. We got one God, right? And we have one book, you know, to understand this one God, which means each and every verse of this book has a truth in it that could change a life.
Absolutely.
You know? And so if we use the power that the Lord gave us and the power in the Word, and we don't just smack the Word, smack the Bible over people's head. I don't think it was meant to be used that way.
It was meant to be used responsibly.
I think this is a good question. Hey, Sister Pam, Pastor Pam said, how do you show up for them?
Well, like if we have folks that are kids that are without parents or fathers, or some even mothers, like get into a mentor program. Or if you see kids in your neighborhood, in your area, talk to them every day instead of calling police on them. Like if you see them hanging around, like one thing that my pastor, shout out to Bishop Larry Williams, he said that one of the mothers that he knew when he first started pastoring, when the dudes used to stand on the corner to sell drugs on her street, she would walk up to him and was like, "Can y'all walk with me?" She used them as bodyguards. They got to know her and respect her. And then, and in turn got to know who God was through her. Like, you know what I'm saying? She didn't call the police because she saw him standing on the corner. She went and talked to him. And I know things are a little different now. Like, these kids can be a little bit more volatile. But at the same time, we have to figure out a way to kind of get into their lives without feeling like we're intruding and become parts. Like for me, when I was growing up, one of the deacons coming to my football game and me seeing them.
That's crazy, because the funny thing about Associate Pastor Pam, the church that she goes to, True Foundations Apostolic, which is close to here, it's about 5 minutes, 10 minutes from here. I think what they do is extraordinary.
Okay.
It's not a big church. It's not a big ministry. It's not all fancy. It's not gimmicky at all.
Right.
It's actually kind of old fashioned. But the young people run the church. I mean, what
you giving them purpose.
What Bishop Zimmerman does is he brings them in.
Wow, Zimmerman.
No relation.
No,
no relation to the food.
I got you twisted real quick.
Bishop Eric Zimmerman. But what he does is, when they come into his, he gets them involved in ministry. He gets them on the stage. He gets them ministering. You got to preach this Sunday, and it's like, you just some cat off the street, like, what? Yeah. And you're like, no, you got to preach this Sunday. And
right.
That forces you into the work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It forces you to study your Bible and get into it. Now, I think what he does is extraordinary.
That's excellent.
That's very, very rare. I've never seen it before. That's very, very rare in a ministry. He gives us think for the most part, he may preach twice a month, like on the first and third Sunday, but every other Sunday, like, you know, he's really using the young people there. I mean, it's actually everybody. He's kind of using everybody there. You know, he's pushing them into ministry.
And that's the thing. You've given them a responsibility.
Absolutely.
You know, instead of them just being left to their own devices, you gave them a project.
Absolutely.
And it's like, okay, here, there's something to occupy your time. And even though it's more important than that, the young person doesn't see it that way until they actually dive deep into it. And it was like, wow, like this is really dope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like putting somebody in, like if you're a business owner, you putting young people in charge of your business. Like, all right, y'all run it. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And it gives us something to do.
I mean, that's what happens in different cultures.
Yeah.
You know, like I always tell people this: no matter where you go to and what neighborhood you go to, if you go to the carryout, you know, when you go to the carryout, you know, get you some shrimp fried rice or whatever, whatever you get for the carryout. There is a 99% chance that the Asian person running that carryout
It's a teenager.
The whole family's there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we run this as the whole family, and when you meet a few Asians and you understand like the system, the way it works, is you know when they immigrate over, you know they all sort of have a unit, and you know when you work in when I was growing up, my mother owned daycare centers, right? When you worked at the daycare center, right? You ain't. What don't be on the streets?
Right.
I've been working at the daycare center from every position from you know camp counselor to grocery shopper to I don't have time.
Right.
No matter what neighborhood I live in, I don't have time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that you know more programs, more involvement, or you just don't have. And then when you got your mind is focused somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like I said about True Foundation, and like I said about you know it's when your mind's focused somewhere else, and the streets and the foolishness and the fast life and all that becomes so much less important.
Right. I was years ago, like 10 years ago, I was coaching football in Highlandtown, the 10-12 group, and I was actually like the defensive assistant coach. And the kids there, they grew up in that Patterson Park area, but I bonded with a lot of them. And it was like a lot of them, like I went to their homes, and of course it's the typical, you know, the mother and no father's type situation. But they looked at me, you get it? Like I would go to their house and I'd meet their mother once, and they'd be like, can we go to Coach Russ' house? And I'm like, y'all want to come to my house? Like y'all asking me in front, y'all put me on the spot. But it's cool. Like if your parents say it's cool, I'll take y'all. I took them. They spent the weekends over my house and everything. Took them to church, of course. And like they became my little squad, like outside of the football field. And it was like, you know, we did things outside of football. So it's like when you plant that seed, it's like you show them a different way. Like because you know they used to one way, like I was used to one way until I got on that van and went to church. You know what I'm saying? I was shown something different. And it's like, and I'm proud to say that a lot of them, you know, went to high school and now are in college now. You know what I'm saying? And doing extremely well, you know, because of I took the time. So a lot of times all you gotta do is just take some time and not don't despise their youth just because they're young. Don't all right, go ahead about your business. You're grown for a bit. Nah, bring them in.
Yeah, it's like we need. So there's so many broken homes, so many single parents, and mostly single mothers. Not that there aren't any single fathers around, but mostly single mothers. You know, homes like that. And it's like there's a lot of space for father figures to show what father figures are to people that may not have a father figure.
Absolutely.
And it's like, you know, I think the sort of mentality that's kind of surrounds culture right now is the idea that men are a necessity.
Right.
I'm open to stuff.
Yeah.
That men are a necessity.
Yeah.
And I think that we're the only culture in the world, nothing against women, but that the women are economically higher, economically more advanced than men. Only culture in the country, in the country, where women are economically higher than men, and it has to do with a lot with the late 1960s, early 1970s. It has nothing to do with slavery. It has nothing to do with, because coming out of slavery, we were actually, like our whole culture was actually doing really well. It has to do with late 1960s and early 1970s, and drug policies start changing, and more, locking more people up, and just the absence of the father didn't happen in the Black community until the late 60s.
Right.
And now it's like, so we have this thing, right? We have this thing where there are a lot of men out here. If you want to give back, it's like, be a father figure to a kid that needs a father figure, and show him what a father figure is like, so that as he grows up, and as he comes into maturity, and it's time to be a father, he'll be a father,
Right.
and he won't be
A deadbeat. Yeah, you're right.
an absentee.
Yeah. And
I prefer the word absentee.
but like even when I started going to Mount Nebo, I really felt like there were no real, and not because there weren't. I felt like real men didn't go to church, because I was always told that they were sweet and all that kind of stuff. The stereotypes. So, but when I got there, I saw real men, and the stereotype was broken, because those men saw me as a knucklehead, but instead of pushing me out, because man, I broke all the rules in the church. I came on Sunday with jeans on, all that stuff, like the rules back in the day. Like my church was very traditional. I came to church with jeans on. I had braids all over my head, pants hanging down, like all of that. But instead of saying, nah, bro, you can't do that. You gotta do it. Nah, they like, nah, you good. But then they showed me.
Absolutely.
You get me? Like it wasn't like the change wasn't made overnight, but they showed me how to be by taking me under their wing. Salute to Coach Michael Cox and Russell Harris and others who have poured into me to the point where I became a different type of dude without even realizing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like God put them in my life to make the change. So now with my sons and those young men and women that I come in contact with, I'm trying to do the same thing.
Right.
Like make it subtle. It doesn't have to be, like I said, bam, you're saved, like busting upside. Yeah, you're saved. Like the old nuns used to beat the sin out of you. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, nah, you just gotta, if you're authentic, kids recognize immediately if you're real or not. And if you're authentic and you're authentically saved, authentically godly, they'll recognize it, and then they'll make a decision, but you can still show them the way subtly, and then they'll get it. Kind of trick them into doing, really.
There's a point you brought up that actually has truth to it when it comes to men in church.
Mm-hmm.
There is a sort of trend happening that a lot of men don't go to church. You go to a church. When you go to church, you see church. Church is
full of women, and their husbands are at home watching the game.
And their husbands are home watching the game, or they're single women going to church. Why do you believe that's a fact? And there is some truth to it. Now, what I have found is that is not true in every place.
It's not.
But there is some truth to it. There is some truth to the idea that men are MIA when it comes to spirituality. They're MIA into leading us when it comes to leading us in the way of the Lord. And it's hard to get your sons in the church. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get your sons in the church when they don't see nobody that look like them.
We have a problem with authority, and it's
wait. Stop. Say it again. All right, go ahead.
We have problems with authority, and it's really not our fault, because we had, like, if you want to take it all the way back to slavery, we had massa, beating us and treating us any old kind of way, and then you go through down the years. If you went to jail, you had the correctional officers, or you got the police officers, and stuff like that. So it's like, we don't want another man telling us what to do. We don't want to submit to a pastor or even a God. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So our wives go, or our female counterparts will go But then what makes us even less inclined to go is when they come back and say, my pastor said you this and you did. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times if your church is full of women, you're going to talk about the men not being there. You're going to talk about why they're not there. You're going to say that these men are not doing this. If your husband not doing this, and he's not good for you. Blah, blah, blah. Like, and so they come home and they treat you like trash because the pastor said. So it's like, well, I'm definitely not going. You know, or if I see your pastor, I'm going to punch him in his face. So it's like the pastors have to show interest in, like, where's your husband? Bring him. I would like to talk to him. I just want to talk to him and see where his head is at and stuff like that. Get him involved. Like you said with the kids, do the same thing with the men.
I found that I think two things. It is a twofold thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would need less gimmicks if we had a real experience with God.
Absolutely.
Not less gimmicks. We would need them.
You wouldn't need any.
Because
Right.
God doesn't need gimmicks. An experience with God changes. It doesn't matter man, woman. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your color. An experience with God changes your life.
Yeah, but you have to recognize the experience though as being God.
Oh, an experience with God cannot be argued. And
I agree.
Okay, so if you came into, so I find two problems when it comes to church. One, a lot of churches are lacking the presence of God. I mean, like, not to be super critical on the church, because I love the church, but a lot of churches are lacking the authentic, the real presence of God. And when you come into the building, oh, you know He was there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's you in the presence of God, you don't want to come back.
Yeah.
Right. That's first and foremost. So that's kind of everybody, right? The second thing, I think a lot of churches are trending to what people say amen to,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And if you trend to what the people say amen to, then you're playing towards the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
If the crowd is female, then you're gonna trend to the message to the crowd that is there.
Absolutely.
And I think that men are looking for more practical and pragmatic messages or lessons, something they can hold on to, something that's more logical, and not something to say amen to that
Right.
just don't say amen to.
Right.
And I, that's just a thought of mine. I don't know if it's a rule or not. I just think that, the strong men's ministries that I've seen, when all the men get together, they get together and dissect the Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
have the practicality, pragmatic, how to apply it in everyday life. Bible, how does it make sense, Bible?
Right. But they also, because I'm part of a men's group that meet every first Sunday, and in our meeting, there are no titles, there's no hierarchy. We're just men, and we set an atmosphere to where anybody that comes in there is comfortable. You can confess anything, and it stays there. You get what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of these men just want that water cooler conversation that they can have,
Right.
and then they looking for a solution that's in God and without judgment, without chastisement, but just like if I'm dealing with, I smoke cigarettes, so I'm addicted to marijuana, and what did y'all do to get off of it? Like how did and then, but if I'm ashamed to say it because I know that judgment is coming, then I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to admit it, or I'm not going to come. So it's like we have to create that atmosphere. That you're right. The men are looking for practical solutions or practical lessons.
Right.
I'm gonna say lessons, not just your hallelujahs and your shouting messages. They trying to live.
Right.
They need that. They're trying to live. So they looking to whoever's on the pulpit to give me a jewel that I can take out with me and say and be like, okay, I can live another week or another month off this word and be good. You feel what I'm saying?
Man, listen, we gotta wrap up here, and I just want to, as we wrap up, I want to give you a moment to just say whatever's on your heart, and just give us all your information. As far as how to reach you, how to get in contact with you, how to hear some more of your music. You play this Charm City joint going out. That's just like I'm play the one we get together.
Right. Shameless plug.
I'm gonna play the one we get together. I do. But how can one get in contact with you and and whatever else is on your mind to say to this audience here?
Yeah, if you wish to follow me, my Instagram is Russ Shanks Music. My Instagram is Russ Shanks 443. So is my Facebook, Russ Shanks 443. My website is www.russshanksmusic.com. XM Management Group. You can follow us on Instagram, XM Management Group. Salute to Go Ye Ministries. Salute to Reach Movement, of course, and everybody else that have, poured into my ministry to help me grow, man. Be on the lookout for Mad Saint Volume 4. You can check out Mad Saint Volume 1, 2, and 3 on YouTube. The Mad Saint Cypher. Salute to all the artists that are part of that. And if you wish to email me, rshanks44@gmail.com. If you're looking to book me, xmmanagementgroup@gmail.com. So
listen, man, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you taking that trip today.
Yep. In the rain.
In the weather.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right after work.
Right after work, still got on that work shirt. I appreciate that, man. It's a good talk.
Yeah.
I believe a lot of people watched it. I think a lot of people heard some things tonight. You guys are looking and listening. Tomorrow, this will be out everywhere on your Apple iTunes, your Spotify, whatever the case is. This is the Elevation Podcast. My name is Shawn Riff-Raff. We do this every Tuesday, 7:30. If you can't join us live, it'll be on the site on Riff-Raff, ShawnRiff-Raff.com. It'll be on my YouTube page, Shawn Riff-Raff. It'll be just look Shawn Riff-Raff and see this Elevation Podcast. As we go out today, we're gonna listen to my man Russ Shanks and a project that we and him did about 5 years ago. Sean City Dreaming. I would play the video. I had to prepare that before I did it too.
I'll post it later on Instagram. Y'all see it. Thank
y'all for hanging out with me. God bless you. Comment if you want. I'll get back to you. All right, peace.
Hey, yeah, the sex, baby. Yeah, I dream of wanting more. Be more. See it in my eyes. I dream of wanting more. Drum City, Song City for life. I love my city. Love my city. I am who I am, all because of my city. The rappers that you quick to catch a slug in my city. That's why I pray that God hovers above my city. The wire was that joint that brought the buzz in my city. The world view what was going off in my city. But nobody's getting choked for selling loose cigarettes. Catch a game at the yard while rocking the old fitting. You could be a fan of the 90s up in San Fran and still be proud to be a citizen of Bird.
You know, I forgot, dog.
What's up?
And I actually
sung for this. You know, I forgot.
What's that?
Every time somebody does my podcast, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the fourth one, third one, fourth. I don't know. Every time somebody does my podcast, I always have some sort of peace offering that I give.
Okay.
I forgot all about that. I suck. But today I wanted to make sure that I did the same thing for you. Okay. I know we know each other for a while and all of that stuff, but peace offerings, thank you for coming offerings, made this worth the trip offerings. Actually, it might not be worth your trip because it's from Baltimore, but you know what I mean. So these Reach Out Clothing jeans.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep. My man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
My man. Okay. Hope I can fit him.
I can size people.
Oh, okay. My man.
Brother, thank you very much.
My pleasure, man.
Now we're gone. Later, dude.
Later.
Some city for life.